Mr. Chris Suitor, welcome to the Founder and Family Podcast. Thank you for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been a while. You think we were just having a wee quick discussion before this. 7 years since you got married.
Frightening.
Oh my goodness.
7-year itch, is that a thing?
Flipping heck. Well, are you scratchy? Are you itchy scratchy anywhere at the minute? Don't tell Jenny.
I'm all good today.
Yeah. But you think that's like that, my goodness me, that has just flown. But I suppose we've had COVID, we've had lots of different business stuff from my side, lots of different business stuff on your side, Declan.
That's it. When you think about it, does seem really quick, but at the same time, everything that's going on in between.
My goodness. Yeah, I can still remember. Oh my goodness, I can still remember you coming in like it was yesterday. But
and when I did come in, you didn't have a beard.
That's right. Right enough. Yeah.
How's the beard going down?
The beard was talking about the 7-year itch. Itchy as feck. I've tried to grow a beard for like forever, and I get about 3 weeks into it and it has to come off because number one, my face didn't suit a beard. I'm too kind of baby faced and I just looked like bum fluff.
I like it.
Now I've kind of stuck it out there and I've got this somewhere where it's nearly like, if you can see it is nearly a beard. It's not as good as your beard, like, but it's like
it's like 15 years in the making.
It's nearly a beard.
Yeah, no, it's solid. I like it.
Nicola hates it. The blade, absolutely.
Oh, does she?
Oh, she hates it.
Tell me this, where does the blade come from? What is that?
So the blade is, so this is, by the way, just for anybody listening in, I would refer to my wife as the blade. And that's kind of her nickname.
It's a fawn.
It is. It's on social media, she gets referred to as the blade. From two different angles, Declan. So the blade is a like southwestern Ulster colloquialism for the wife or the girlfriend, right? Okay. The blade, like sort of for man at her own, that sort of thing. And then Nicola, she's just so flippin' sharp that you can't get away with anything. And if you try to get away with anything, she'll just flip and chop you like a knife. So
someone needs to keep you in line.
I know. So that's where the blade comes from. And yeah, no, she's not into the beard. But look, I'm gonna keep it. I like it.
Give it time. I like it too, man. Keep it.
It's distinguished looking. I think I kind of look more like what I do, because I do men's tailoring and stuff. I kind of, when people come in, it's not there's that wee lad sells the suits anymore. It's either there's that older looking fella sells the suits.
No, it's all beard. It's all good. So like the beard, that is image. You've built a core business around image.
Yes.
Obviously, you're a guy as well, as you've mentioned, that wears several hats.
Yes.
Sometimes literally.
Yes.
At the minute, what season are we in? Where's your focus? What are you
focused in the minute? So I've taken on. I probably haven't said it before, but anybody that doesn't know me, I do lots of bits and pieces. I'm a men's tailor. I have a shop in Belfast called Suitor Brothers. I also have a bit of property stuff going on, but my super side hustle is DJing, and part of my my image whenever I started DJing was wearing this flipping big top hat thing, which I don't do anymore. But my DJing stuff, Deck, is probably taken over a bit too much. I've taken on too many gigs recently. So my focus over the last couple of months has been these certain DJ gigs, get out of the way. And I've maybe taken my eye off the men's game a wee bit. But now that I've got these DJ gigs out of the way, I'll be back into the tailoring side of things and concentrate, because like, let's call a spade a spade. It's the menswear industry and business that pays my bills. Yeah. Really. The DJ thing's great and it's a few quid on the side and it's wonderful and I enjoy it and it's flipping, as you can imagine, it's DJing, it's incredible, right? But the main business between my kind of property Donegal Airbnb stuff and it has to be the men's business. So got to get my head back in the game, Declan. This is actually a good conversation because you just asked me that, has triggered something in my head. You know what? I need to flip and sort this out.
But it's true. I think you remind me of myself there in terms of, I would say you're probably quite creative.
Yes,
I'm creative, and I use this phrase with my lifestyle coach Steve, that I get distracted by the shiny object.
Here, I'm a magpie. Here, that's exactly. Yep, we have the same outlook.
He laughs.
I am a magpie,
but like I love building things. It's like the new thing is exciting, but at the same time, you can't forget that foundation.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like that at the minute. Say trying to build this podcast as well.
Yes.
That
you could be taking your eye off another thing when you should be constantly. Yeah, but look,
literally,
this is all good, Declan. And like here, where I kind of differ slightly than that is within the men's game. I've got my brother there.
Yeah.
I've got Reese. I've got Drew. I've got I have a really good team set up there within Suitor Brothers that I know even whenever I'm not there, I'm away arsing around doing things like this. Do you know what I mean? Having the crack on a podcast at 2:00 on a Tuesday afternoon when I should be in work.
Exactly.
And they've got it. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to let it go. It took a while, to kind of let the string out and let other people take control.
Building those teams and systems, that is a skill in itself. So there was a time you couldn't do that?
Absolutely. Oh, massive control freak. Absolutely. Needed, not even from the position that I didn't trust anybody else to do it. I just loved being the big lad and doing it all.
Yeah.
And like showing people that I could do more than them. And, you know, my motto used to be 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
Yeah.
Until August 2022, whenever I hit full burnout, took a full mental breakdown, and shit hit the fan. And again, I've spoken other pods about this too.
Yeah.
I have no issues saying that that's what happened.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible part in time of my life, Declan. But looking back now, it's one of those things that had to happen. And I'm a much happier and better human because of it. Because I went and got therapy and I did the work and I learned how to breathe and I learned how to meditate. And I just learned how to deal with my shit. So,
but before that, was it a case of just, you know, go? The balance wasn't there.
There was no balance yet because it was all go, Declan.
Yeah.
Again, I never ever stopped, and I used to wear my lack of sleep and my ability to have energy of 20, 21 hours a day and sleep 3, 4 and 5 hours a night, that sort of thing. That was my USP, was like, look at how hard I can go. And if you can imagine, because social media came about the place, and you had a window to show the world what you were doing every minute of every day. Like, I was that guy. My slogan back then, another one of my slogans was get up, get out, get at it. And that was me every morning in the car, trance music pumping, going to the gym, then going to work, then going to more work, then going to more work, and then doing events or whatever that night, and doing this and doing that and doing the other, then sleeping for 3 or 4 hours, and then doing it again the next day, and again the next day, and again the next day, until boom, my body just said, no more, mate.
I'm being a dad.
I'm being a dad. That's right. I've got 2 kids as well.
Yeah,
being a dad, having a wife, and flipping all that stuff.
That's its own pressures, and the reason you're doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, it was for them.
It's for them.
It's for them. Was trying to build a business, trying to build a brand, as we're talking about there. Just trying to keep everything going, because modern life, Declan, it's expensive, and like money, whether you like it or not, money makes the world go round. And people look at you and think you've got your own business and you make a fortune. See, without all the little bits and pieces that myself and my wife do, we wouldn't be able to live the lifestyle that we do. And we don't even live like a most super duper opulent. We live a lovely life and we have lovely things, and my kids don't really want for much. But that takes all the different little bits of hustles that we do, including our main jobs, but all our little hustles, just to make it work. Life's hard,
of course,
and that's the one thing that I don't think is really spoke about enough. And we do get it very good over here. See, in Northern Ireland, like our standard of living over here is incredible compared to many other places around the world.
Yeah,
but we I think as a society, we need to concentrate on that work ethic for the kids coming up, because we had that from our dads. Like, you look at how hard your dad works.
I know. 100%.
Do you know what I mean? And then I look at how hard my dad works, and that's what they had to do.
Can't get him to stop.
And you still can't get him to stop. And I worry about now going forward that the kids, they see too much stuff online of these guys sitting with their feet up on a flipping beach somewhere, and I only work an hour a day, man. You know what I mean? And they've got Lambos and all this sort of stuff, and they think that's life. Life's not. I want to set an example to my kids that, see, if you want something, you gotta get up, get out, and get at it. You gotta get up, get out, and get at it every single day of your life to make it happen. But now, where the difference, Declan, and me is that balance. What you asked me, that balance side of things. I now make sure that I take lots of time to slow down, like sort of 8. I work for 8 hours, I kind of play for 8 hours, and I sleep for 8 hours. And I try and do that every day, and I try and eat a bit better and go to the gym a bit more, and I sleep really well. I concentrate on sleep hygiene, I do meditation, my breath work is incredible. I'd love to talk about that sometime, but learning how to breathe has been an absolute game changer.
I heard you on a different podcast mentioning about your asthma and the breathing.
Gone completely.
Is it?
Gone completely, Declan.
From the breath work?
From breath work. So, most people watching this pod will have heard of a guy called Wim Hof.
Yes.
To cut this can be a long story, but I'm going to cut it really short. So, again, whenever I burnt out in August, that I did go back to work, and I was trying to phase myself back in, because there was a time that I didn't even know I was going to get back to work, Declan. Honestly, it was so flipping bad, and I hope that anybody that ever bees there is able to get out of it, because it's a terrible situation. There's loads of help. Therapy is incredible, by the way. And I started reading these books. Actually, a guy came into the shop, and I don't even know who this guy is. If the guy watches this pod and you remember, drop me in a book. I've racked my brain and tried to remember who it was. But anyway, he came in and he left me down a book by James Nestor called Breathe. And I took it home and I started reading it, and I really get into it. I'm not a reader, but I decided I'm going to read this book. And it was all about how breathing and physiology in humans has changed over the years, from we were Neanderthalic right the way through. And and about why nowadays we have so many breathing problems and so many health problems and all this sort of stuff. And great read. Then I read another book called Just Breathe by Dan Brule. I read that, same sort of thing again, and I really get into this whole breathing technique stuff. And then I read Wim's book, and I started doing his breath work. And literally, the more I was doing the breath work, which is literally, it's a practice of 30 breaths in, 30 breaths out, or whatever you want to do, and breath holds. And what it's doing, it's more or less like a workout for your lungs, essentially. And it's something you're never taught, because you're born, and then all of a sudden
just
you
breathe.
die, and nobody ever says to you, "Here, how do you breathe?" Because you just breathe. It's somatic. It's natural. But no doctor ever stopped and looked at me and says, "Right, Chris, what's your posture like? What way do you breathe? What way do you sit? What way are your lungs positioned?" No doctor ever asked me that. And obviously, as a kid, started having breathing problems and mucus and all that, and asthmatic flipping attacks and stuff, and just gave me inhalers.
Yeah.
And I was on these inhalers for 30 odd years, and at not one point did any doctor or consultant ever says, "Right, let's look at how you sit and stand as a human, and how do you breathe." But by reading these books, I started to realize and research that this is just the way we have almost evolved negatively as such over the years, that our nasal cavities are much, much smaller, our mouths are much, much smaller. We started eating soft food. Once we learned how to make fire, we started then eating soft food, which meant that all that kind of parts of your body that was involved in sucking in and letting out air all just got cramped in and narrowed, and we then started having all these breathing problems. So I started doing all these pulmonary exercises about how to really open up the thoracic cavity and all these different lung exercises, and then started doing Wim's breath work. And Declan, over about a 4 or 5 month period, my asthma symptoms just started to decline. When I got to the point where I had no asthma at all, and I went off the inhalers, and I have been off them ever since. And that's about 2.5 years ago.
That's
and
amazing.
I have never breathed better. I've never been fitter. Yeah.
And does that breath
Incredible.
work help in terms of relaxation and mindset, like a
totally.
reset?
Oh my goodness, Declan. The only thing I think I could describe it is literally like being able to make your own drugs. It is.
I've never tried it.
It's incredible, man. And like honestly, see if you just do the Wim Hof style, which seems to be the thing that feels natural to me. There's lots of other breathwork styles out there, but Wim's was just the one that kind of really caught me. And plus, it's just him as well. He's just cool. He's just cool. Like this guy ran flipping marathons in the Arctic in his knickers and all that sort of stuff. That sort of guy.
Says it all.
Says it all. And I was like, well, if he can do that sort of stuff, I can learn how to breathe.
Yeah.
But so whenever you're doing the breath work, you're actually changing the oxygen tension inside your body. So you're creating more of a carbon dioxide heavy blood system. And whenever your body's then filled with more carbon dioxide, all these things start to happen in your brain and in your mind, and you start to get all these lovely wee kind of tingly feelings. And then whenever because that's whenever you've breathed out and you've done your breath hold, that's when it's changing. Then whenever you do your breath back in, you're flooding your body with oxygen, and you just get this massive release of serotonin and dopamine and all these feel good hormones. And I'm there, it's flipping, it's incredible. And I do this every day.
People need to save their money and just breathe.
Every day. And I mean every day, no matter how hard life is or what's going on. See if you can work on a breathwork practice and do it every single day. It is life-changing. Life-changing.
Is that like a morning routine or evening routine?
I have my morning routine in the morning.
Before you get out?
Yeah, up in the morning, down and do a couple of wee supplements, and I drink my creatine, and I drink my vitamin B12 stuff and other wee bits and pieces, electrolytes. Then I go in and I do 10 minutes on an app called the Calm app.
Yes.
So it's 10 minutes of meditation. It's a guided meditation that they do with a girl called Tamara Levitt. I then do my 10 minutes of breath work with Wim Hof. You can download his app, and he then guides you through it, which is great. You just hit play, earphones in, and just listen, and he tells you to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Hold the breath, and you hold it and in. He tells you. Anyway, you gotta look it up.
I can't wait to hear him to see if that's an accurate representation.
That was good.
Yeah, was that good?
Good flipping. That was a really good impression of Wim Hof. By the way, at one point, I was one of only 8 people that he followed on Instagram. Me and David Beckham.
Well,
what about that? It was one of my claims to fame. Now he
dinner party.
Follows about 120 people now, but I still follows Chris Suitor.
You're still on the list?
Oh, I still on the list. Yeah, still on the list.
Take that.
But at one point in time, there was Wim Hof when he followed 8 people, and randomly I was one of them. Do not know why. Big shout to Wim. But yeah, the breathwork thing, and then so about 10 minutes meditation, 10 minutes of the breathwork, and then 10 minutes after that of a wee bit of light yoga, and these sort of these lung and chest, thoracic chest opening exercises. One of them, which which includes just standing on a door frame with your arm on the door frame and literally just twisting round until you feel this whole side just open up nice and gently. And what you're doing there, you're just working these intercostal muscles and muscles across your top of your chest to allow your chest cavity to open, which just allows your lungs to move and function better. And again, this see when you start to learn about it, it's all basic shit, but no one ever talks about it.
Do you not find this with a lot of things in life? So as I mentioned, I've my coach I speak to weekly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that we end up running through, his philosophy is you or I, like, we have the answers.
Yeah.
It's just about getting that out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's just the simplest of stuff that you don't action. And then when you do, you're like, fuck,
Why did I just do that before?
That's like life changing, but I could have just done that before.
Well, I would love it if modern medicine, modern medical people, would actually start to listen to some of these. Almost
my wife Jenny could be one.
Jenny, you know what? Hey, Jenny, if you're listening,
Dr. Jenny.
Yes, if you're listening to these sort of hippie type people, women, all the guys that a lot of sort of modern medical, scientifically led people, doctors, etc. Would just go, that's all piffle and all that sort of nonsense. There is so much in it, Deck, and now the fact that social media is getting all of this out. You have guys like Gary Brecka and all these kind of, and these huge influencers on socials that are really pushing the whole holistic side of things.
Yeah.
It's, I think, honestly, there's a shift happening. I think there's a shift happening. I would love it if we could kind of change the narrative from the medical side, that instead of just medical practitioners being all about feeding out drugs and just like, what's wrong with you? Take that. What's wrong with you? Take that. Let's take a step back and say, why are you like that in the first place? Because one of the things you notice, and I still do it sometimes, Deck, is I'm very shoulders forward and very hunched over.
Okay,
and again, see, when you think of that, your diaphragm is squeezed up, your shoulders are rolled over. When you sit like that for long periods of time and you do it day in after day in, or day after day after day at school and whatever else you're doing, your body starts to morph and mold to that shape.
And a lot of people will be doing that at work.
In fact, probably 99 out of 100 people watching this pod are doing it.
I'm probably doing it.
What you're doing is you're reducing the ability for your lung capacity to grow and expand. So we're literally causing ourselves to breathe really shallowly. And the way the nervous system, I'm giving everybody a lesson on this here, right? But the way your nervous system works, okay, you have two different sides of your nervous system. You have your rest and digest, which is your parasympathetic, and your fight or flight, which is your sympathetic, right? Your sympathetic nervous system, its baroreceptors, or its main trigger points, are in the top half of your lungs. The main trigger points for your parasympathetic are in the bottom half of your lungs. So when you think, if you're hunched over and you're literally sitting like this at a desk all day and you're just breathing shallowly, your baroreceptors are just firing off those neurons to your sympathetic nervous system, which is increasing cortisol and stress in your body, just because that's the way we're built as humans. So you're consistently just keeping your body in a stressful state all day. And when you go home at night, if you don't do breather, you're doing it all night. That's what happened to me, Deck. And it just got to the point in time where, because I had asthma, I felt that it was really, really difficult for me to take a full breath, or else I would start coughing, and I would start coughing.
Yeah.
But see, now that I have got my lungs cleared out and I do this breath work, I make sure every single day, even if just parts of it, if things are getting a wee bit tight, I'll just go at the back and I'll sit down and I'll
breathe. Yeah. I think a lot of the times it's been able to identify. So like, if you're saying if you can feel it coming on, it's like, right, well, actually I have tools that I can.
There you go.
I'm gonna step out.
You hit the nail on the head. Before I burnt out, I had no tools.
Yes.
I didn't know what tools were.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it, because I was just go. And part of the reason why I was so go was because I was doing that shallow breathing. Number one, because of my physiology, but number two, because of my asthma. I was consistently firing those neurons in my body that just kept me in a higher state of stress and cortisol, which actually, looking back now, was probably how I was able to have so much energy for so long. Like that, I can see back then, I think of some of the stuff I used to do, week upon week upon week, and I even look back now and go, what the fuck?
Do you think
mental?
See, at the time, do you think you were influenced by other people out there? Because I'm just thinking, I was going to say to you there, you maybe fed into it a little bit with this. There was this like hustle culture,
totally,
of like, work really hard. You don't need to fucking sleep. Sleep in your office floor.
Yeah.
Like sleep in your shop. Get up, go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Absolutely. And the narrative back then, Declan, was exactly that.
And if you're not doing that,
and if you're not doing that, correct.
Yeah.
Totally. And again, I was definitely influenced by that. And I think also what happened is I became, and again, I spoke this over my therapist, and he came up with this, and I thought it was very, very good. I became my own avatar. Mm-hmm. I became Chris Suitor on Instagram, and you know what I mean? I wasn't actually being true to myself. Yeah. I was having to every day having to get out and put on this flipping face about, you know, because once you get into that, so many people were following me, Declan, and were reaching out to me every day saying, Chris, I love what you're doing. This is getting me up every morning. You're really inspiring me. Then that put the pressure on me to do it every day, and then I felt that I can't get out of this because I've got so many people that rely on me to help them get up. Yeah. And that just drove me down a flipping rabbit hole, Declan.
That is a powerful thing, though. I think if you can have a message and you get something back, and it's like, so you're giving a message out to your followers, and you're encouraging someone is literally like, it is lovely,
but at the detriment of my own
health. It shouldn't be at the detriment. It was just Dean and I's conversation a couple of weeks ago, talking about fitness journeys and things, and I'll post about me doing my running, and I sort of think like, fuck, nobody cares, or like people are like, what the fuck, he's posting about that again. But if that encourages one person to be like, fuck, he's done that, I could do that.
I think it keeps you accountable too, Deck. And again,
that's the other thing as well.
Yeah, I got too accountable.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what I've learned. We're talking about tools. I've learned to have the balance, Deck, and I had no balance before. And like I'm still doing. Sorry, answer there. Could be somebody looking at you. It's one of those things now. Yeah. You need a balance, Declan, and again, that's something that it was almost frowned upon back then to talk about sleep. Like, if you see my socials the last couple of days, I had probably one of the busiest weeks of my life last week.
Yeah.
Probably even busier than I was before I burnt out as such. Yeah. But the fact that I was able to take times during that week to slow down and prioritise and do my breath work and do my spa and do my meditation and stuff, I was able to get through it. But what I did do then was I hit Sunday. We'd done the NI Social Media Awards on the Saturday night. Hit Sunday in the morning and I just pressed stop. I said, right, that is me. I'm doing nothing today. And I took yesterday off Monday and I did nothing yesterday. The old me would never done that. The old me would have kept her lit. And the old me would have actually felt bad for telling people that I'm slowing down. But again, did a wee bit of a post. Said, look, guys, I've had a really, really busy week, but here's the crack. This is the different me. I am now going to stop. And again, the amount of people that reached out to me, Dak, and goes, Chris, I needed to hear that. Because I've been, they've been busy in their own lives and doing their own thing, and they've maybe got in a rut. And then just because I put it out in my social and they read, they go, do you know what? He's right. I'm going to stop. And again, that was nice to hear.
Absolutely.
Too. That was nice to hear that you're kind of, inspiring people to do that.
Tell me this, from your experience beforehand and your learnings going into last week, knowing how busy that was going to be, were you apprehensive? Was there feelings there of like, fuck, this is busy, like, am I going to be able to cope with this like I can? Or
there was. Now, about a month ago, I did 3 days. I did 3 20-hour days back to back to push myself again, just to see how hard and how far I could go, and that went well. And then I said, right, this week, that was a week of, there was probably maybe 3 20-hour days in that week, and then a couple of 18s, and then a couple of 16s. So there was not a lot of play. It was all work.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to be able to handle it. But I'm sure, Sunday took me a while, Declan, to really turn the knob down.
Yeah.
Like, everything was still firing. The stress levels were up. The anxiety was flipping, going nuts. And the thing is, the week was gone. I was done, and I smashed every bit of it. Like, there was not one thing in that week that went wrong. It all went to plan, and it all went brilliant.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just not enough to make you flip and calm down. Sometimes you got to get your head away from that.
Yes.
And even though it was very, very successful and all went very, very good, I had to just concentrate on, as again what the therapist said, this whole slow down and prioritize. So I just literally spent as much time with my kids, spent as much time with Declan, played with my dogs, watched a bit of TV, went out for walks.
Yeah.
Done a load of sauna, that sort of stuff.
That.
And it took me to yesterday actually to really proper feel like I'd calmed down from the week.
It's addictive though.
Oh, it's addictive. Oh, Declan, no, absolutely.
I think though, what I'm thinking there is, if you get like, I've got a muscle injury.
Yeah.
Sometimes the worst thing you can do is just sit around.
Yeah.
So like what I'm thinking there is, as we've discussed, you getting the tools.
Yes.
Sometimes testing.
Yes.
Testing it. So actually this is a really busy week. Beforehand, this, may have broke me at periods of time. not that it did, but you know what I mean. Actually testing that to be like, well, actually, now I have the tools. That went really well.
It went good.
All of that's a success. You bank that as a rep, and then going. No, you're not going to do that every week.
No, I'm not. But
but
it did give me a good bit of confidence that, look, whenever life just gets a wee bit crazy or anything like that again. Now, part of what happened last week was I sold my house as part of
that. That is stressful.
And bought another house at the same time.
Yeah.
And sold 2 cars and bought another car. There was a load of other bits and pieces that were kind of thrown in that, including a load of anyway. Like, I'm not getting into it because the more I think about it, it starts to freak me out again. It's going, did I just do that in a whole week?
You don't help yourself, Chris, do you?
I know, but it's this is going to be all good, Declan. I'm trying to downsize life now.
Yes, I like that.
I'm going to take a different approach because I've always been about go, and the next thing, and the next thing, the next thing. My wife Nicola and I, we've now decided to press pause. Like, our kids are 12 and 14. Wow. And, you know, there's been lots of times over the last couple of years, Declan, where we've hoped to go and do things, but we've always been self-employed, and trying to get the time off here and there to do this and that has just been very, very difficult. But again, it's like I said at the start, it's all these individual different wee business ideas and hustles, the stuff that we do makes our life work.
Yeah.
We're now going to press pause. We're going to try and clear all our flipping debts, clear our mortgage, all the rest of it, live happily ever after for 5 years or 6 years, and do all the holidays with the kids. I'm literally going to spend, see, every bit of money I get over the next 5 years, Declan, I'm going to spend it. We've really made this decision. The kids are only going to be, they're 12 and 14. They're going to be 17 and 19. Ava's talking about going away to London to do drama and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So we've only got them really as our wee babbies for another couple of years. So yeah.
And how quickly is that time?
Oh my goodness, Declan. What age are your ones now?
4 and nearly 2.
My goodness, man. And again, I'm sure you hear this all the time. I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah. Literally, I shit you not, Declan. I remember mine being 4 and 2 like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And it has just, life is just so busy now. And whenever life is busy, and like you're a busy person, life does just get by, Deck. And you know what? We're happy enough that we're at a position now where we've done well with bits and pieces that we can downsize, buy a smaller house, have less cars, and just spend more money on holidays and really meaningful experiences with the kids.
I think that's so important these days. The experience. It's look. I can't remember if it was beforehand or in this conversation. You'd mentioned money makes the world go round. Whatever way that we want to approach that. But at the same time, why do we do what we're doing? We're doing it for our families, and really we're doing it to create more moments with them.
Totally.
So if you can make a conscious decision, deliberate decision to say, do you know what? We're going to slow down. I think that's amazing.
I think it's going to be good. And it's going to be good. Because we can always go again. In 5-6 years' time, we can try, if we want a bigger house again.
And that's it.
All the rest of it, we can do all that.
You know what? I think too often people, and look, I was guilty of this in the past, you think decisions are final.
Yes.
That is,
love this.
I'm not sure, like moving house is a good example. Changing car. I changed car recently and I hemmed and had, and
it can all come and go. You can change it tomorrow.
Exactly. If it doesn't work out, sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, a house is a big thing. Same thing. You can do that. A business doesn't work out, we move on.
Yep.
And it can seem catastrophic at times, but if you kind of have experience and tools again to manage those things, it's not, and it's more, I see it very much like as a river meandering. It's just like take a different direction. It's not dead end.
See, Deck, look, that's why we get on so well, buddy, because I'm the same. Up until recently we had a lovely wee cafe still going in Hollywood called Suitor & Co. And again, it just with Nicola was the main character in there. There was her and her lovely chef partner Anna, who Anna bought it over. Go Anna. Nicola and Anna had Nicola did the front of the house and the back of the house, and it just got too much for Nicola. Anna has been in the game a long time and knows the industry inside and out. I mean, she is the right person to have it, but we are just not hospitality people, Deck. Do you know what I mean? As in that industry. I know you're in that industry too. It is it's hard work.
I'm not sure I'm a hospitality person. So
I know, and it's just got so much harder, and it was literally it was breaking, Nicola. It was just not, not what she was after.
Yeah, and I think that's again
we were able to stop and go, right, this isn't working.
Recognize it.
And then we recognize it. Went to Anna, says, right, Anna, we don't want to do this anymore. Would you like to buy our share out? We worked out a deal. Anna was like, yes, because again now Anna's going to own her own place.
Yeah,
and probably without us there, that this whole thing would never happen for her either. So it's actually all all worked out brilliant. But again, that didn't scare Nicola and I. You know, it didn't scare. Oh, flip! Now what are we going to do? You know, we're like, that's just the end of that journey.
And
let's go on to something else.
You're not conscious of other people being like, oh, here, well, that's.
Oh, here, and you are a wee bit. Declan, there was, I know, but saying, the fucking Suitor's doing, you know.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't
define us, and like people are going to chat and all the rest.
Exactly.
I mean, we've left the place in a really good position, and Anna's going to run it brilliantly. It is still going to be success. Hard work, and Anna knows that, and Anna's good with it. She knows the crack. And Declan, as you know, it's just it is the hardest industry.
Tough game.
I can't think of a harder industry out there at the minute, particularly harder to actually make it work.
Yeah,
you know, it's just so difficult.
And I think, you know, I shared something yesterday on my Instagram about the hospitality VAT. Not to get
well, that's there's the lever. That's the lever.
Is a massive problem, and obviously with our compatriots down south
going to 9%,
with the advantage that they have. It's chalk and cheese.
Like it's the only lever that there is to try and save the industry as a whole. Declan, I actually worry for hospitality in general as a sector across the entire UK economy. I cannot see how small independents can be sustainable and make it work. I fear that in 10 years' time, Declan, we're not going to exist. There'll be no Fox's Den and there'll be no Suitor and Co. There'll be just Cafe Nero, Starbucks, flipping Weatherspoons, and that is all there's going to be to make it work. Well, and where does that leave us as a society in a country?
No, it's not great. And I've said this for a while. The way it is built at the minute, a lot of people are like, can you thrive? I'm not sure a lot of businesses can survive. Never mind trying to thrive.
It is just survival at the minute. And
but see from the outset, which is very frustrating. You've probably got this as well. So many people will be like, Fox Den, it's always really busy. You know, you must be, rolling it in.
Same as Suitor and Co. Those great numbers.
I'm really grateful. We have a fantastic audience and there's a lot of repeat customers and people really enjoy the food and a really hard-working team. But it takes a lot to run that place.
It takes a lot to run it,
it's a lot to run it. So by no means is it, retirement time. It's Declan, far from it.
See, we're probably more expensive than what your place is, and so our margin is very our gross margin is very, very good. Like a lot of hospitality business. But whenever you look at your net,
how's the net? And there lies the problem.
Their net is just above the zero mark, you know what I mean? And it just takes over. That's why I think small independent hospitality businesses are good as a lifestyle business if you want to work in them. Again, like Anna is still head chef and she's in the business every day. It works for her. She can pay herself and she can pay everybody and make it work. If you're looking at it from a business perspective where you want to have some of these, I think you have an economy of scale problem there. I think we spoke about this before. I think you need 5 units before you can actually make any money at it. I think 1's no good. I think 2 loses you money. I think 3 just about starts to break even. I think 4 maybe makes you something. I think 5 units. But then with 5 units, you need a whole different management structure to make that work. And then it's just all these headaches because then you've maybe 200 staff. And and all the HR that's involved in that, and you're thinking there's got to be easier ways to make money. And this is the thing.
Absolutely.
This is a conversation that I actually don't like having because we need independent hospitality business, Declan. And I don't want to scare people off. But see, anybody ask me straight, I'll tell them straight. I'm not going to lie to them.
Yeah,
it's break your heart.
It's a very difficult period, and we rely on seasons. We're coming into hopefully a busy season.
Yeah.
But everybody's strapped for cash. It's not. There's no guarantees with that.
It's just the government. Just nobody's doing anything to help with Declan. Honestly,
nobody seems to listen.
With the way the minimum wage went and the way the employers' national insurance and all, just your energy cost and just the cost of food, because everybody in the food market is having to increase their prices because they're getting hit with the same increases.
It's not gone.
And it is what it is. And if the government, if anybody's watching government-wise, and we could
have a chat,
chipping away at that chat about VAT. VAT is the only lever, Declan, that will save it.
I agree. And are you telling me stuff isn't going to go up again next year?
Exactly.
Inflation.
It's
just going to,
it's probably going to be back up sort of 6-7% very, very soon.
And look, see to the general public that, maybe aren't in the game and they go to they go out and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you enjoy going for your coffee in the mornings, you enjoy going for a nice meal at the weekend, glass of wine. That's not going to exist.
I know.
At times, more and more places, it's something really does have to be done.
It's something like I think it's like 3 or maybe 4 per week at the minute, which is actually still down. It was at 8 or 9 at one point, but it's 3 or 4 hospitality businesses a week are closing just because they just cannot make it work. And we need to fix this soon. Either that, or we just all need to keep going out and spending shit tons of money on brunch. And part of the crack that I always struggled with at the start was trying to, because we were an expensive place to go for brunch because it was all everything still to this day cooked fresh, brand new from scratch, right? Nothing pre-cooked. cooked. And we buy all the best of stuff, and we support all the local guys, and from Givens to the meats for Clements to the eggs, and we borrowed Joey Joe and Bar Bakehouse of Bacon the bread, and you know, we bought everything local, and we loved supporting that. But then because everything was local and it was a wee bit more expensive, you were having to then add it onto your retail price, and people were coming into us, they were maybe spending 17 to 20 quid on their brunch, which what we still over here in Northern Ireland call our breakfast. And they're going like, I just spent 20 quid for my breakfast. Whenever you know, you can go down the road and buy a soda for a fiver. It was really difficult to kind of break that mold, but I think that is changing, Declan. I think that there's more and more people, like I go out for breakfast now and I'm expecting to spend 20 quid. That's just my mindset, you know. Because it's the same work as went into that breakfast, has went into the lunch, nearly has went into almost an evening meal too. There's the same amount of love and care and proper produce and proper thought behind the taste profile and how it all works together has went into the other stuff.
Absolutely. So, and I don't know whether this is because I'm in the industry, and it's certainly not because I'm very well off, but when I go out to eat, I actually, like, I don't really look at the prices. I'm going out. I appreciate it's going to cost me money. I'm there for the experience. I am not going to question, give off. You know, it's like, do you know what? Actually, rightly or wrongly, if I don't enjoy something, I'm probably just not going to go back to the place.
I know,
you know
Declan,
I mean?
I'm the same, and it's awful because you and I both know, coming from this industry, I wish me and you would tell the person. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing.
Agreed.
Because I would want to know. And again, there was times where we maybe get something wrong in Suitor and Co, and you'd get a wee flipping message. And it was like somebody sticking a knife in your back. But then by the time you get over the criticism part of it and go, right, let's stay calm and think of this constructively. Was there something in that we need to change? Well, actually, yes, there was. We didn't communicate with the customer, or, you know, whatever it was. And you know what? Yes, we need to flip and change that. And I was actually, you know what? I was actually writing back going, thank you for letting me know. Whereas at the very start, when Declan Blade would have went, what the, you know, we straight in there flipping, beating the crap out of them.
How dare you?
But after you got settled and go, you know what? Constructive criticism is as good. I'm glad that person told me, because I want that person to come back,
make it better.
Because every single purchase, even within our men's shop, like as we've had this ethos forever. My dad drilled into me that even if someone's buying a tie at 25 quid or they're buying a bespoke suit at 2.5 grand, they each get the exact same treatment,
experience,
and the exact same experience. It doesn't matter what they're spending. They are a customer, and that's it. You give them the full nailty, and you know, that was what we wanted to achieve in the cafe.
It's that like I think word of mouth is the best possible sales tool.
That's what this pod's about, isn't it? It's about just, you know.
Absolutely. You know, someone comes and buys a tie off you. Who's to say that in 2 years' time they have a great experience at that? They come back and buy their wedding suits.
That's it.
Or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Again, and this is another wee slogan that my dad drilled into me as a kid, that you're always selling the next suit. You know, whenever somebody's in buying a suit or whatever, you're selling them the next one, not that one. Because again, that's what has kept our family business going, Declan, for the couple of generations, and why we are where we are now. You know, it's always just trying to protect the not the relationship, but the what am I trying to say? It begins with R. What's the word? Not legacy, but legacy. This is a normal word that I can't think of. Reputation.
Reputation. That's the one.
We're trying to think of trying to protect the reputation.
Well, that's it.
Here, you'll never be everybody's cup of coffee, Declan. You know, there'll always be people that just will never see it your way, and no matter how much you bend over backwards, but at least if I know when I go to bed at night, I done everything today to the best of my ability. I served everybody with the utmost respect and thanked them for spending their money, no matter what it is, DJing, property, flipping, coffee, suits, whatever it is. I can go to bed and I can sleep really, really well, that I've done my bit. Whether they like me or not, that's their problem.
Absolutely. And I think actually it's only with experience that you realise that's okay.
It's okay. It is totally absolutely fine. Okay. It used to get me up. Then I would get a wee bit of trolling and stuff over the years, and still do to this day. Oh, jeepers, some terrible stuff over the years. Fucking death threats and like literally like mental stuff.
Who does that?
Like, I remember this one guy put up a video about how he's going to find me in Belfast and he's going to knock the fuck out of me and all this sort of stuff. And you're like,
was it Andy Malone?
No, it wasn't. No, but Andy's dead on. Me and him sorted that out.
Good.
But no, and you're like, what are these? What's the problem?
That's
guys?
mental.
It's bad, but it took me a couple of years now to. I almost embrace it now. Do you know what I mean? I almost nearly like a wee bit of that coming back, and I go, do you know what, pal? You do what your opinion of me is your opinion, and it's your thoughts, and it's nothing to do with me. It's actually none of my business.
Says more about the individual.
None of my business.
On social, I wanted to ask you about social media in general. We've touched on it a wee bit. Has your experiences altered how you perceive social media at the minute, how you use it, or have you toned that back a wee bit? And also, just to throw in with the family, do you have boundaries there? Like, do you?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, good question, Declan. Yeah, I probably don't put as much as me and the family as used to do.
Yeah.
don't actually really know why that is.
Yeah.
I suppose just with the way kind of everything's moved on and all the kind of the safety aspect of things, I just maybe thought that, you know what, I don't really put too much about what I do with the kids and stuff now, because no matter what happens, like a lot of people, not a lot, but the old one would give off of me, you're always out, you're never with your family, you're a bad dad and all this sort of, like literally, like I used to get not lots of, but enough of it to make me fucking realise it. So now I just don't. But do you know one thing that has changed? And I've actually, just after you asking me this question, I've just realised why it's changed. I do much less of me on the camera. And the main reason being is I sold my wee smart car, and the smart car had the perfect flipping phone holder. And I used to pull over the set of lights or whatever, pull in and do my wee videos to piece the camera every morning. And then I bought a wee van, and it hasn't got a phone holder. And now I don't do any wee pieces to camera.
Get Chris a phone holder.
I think that's what it is.
We need more pieces to camera.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of that anymore. I really should do.
Yeah.
But again, the whole probably because my whole mantra towards life has changed to it's more about learning to slow down and about meditation and about breathwork and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to bombard people with that, so I drop that in once every couple of weeks type of thing. Whereas before, just my whole attitude to get up, get out and get out, that was every day.
Yeah.
And again, I used to do it every day, but then because it got to the point where I felt compelled to do it every day, I've now turned and said, and I only do it when I feel like it.
There's probably a bit with the breath work though, as an example, that you posting about that, like someone might be like, oh fuck, I'll do the breath work, and that's great.
Legitimately. Maybe not hundreds, but definitely flipping 40, 50, 60 people now do breathwork because they've seen me do it.
Yeah, I get then. You know, people could be like, "Oh fuck, he's doing that again."
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be sort of overpowering. But yeah, plus another thing. I can't work the flipping algorithm out anymore, Declan. Like literally, see back, I had a really good kind of growth and following back in the mid. Like I was one of the first Instagram accounts over here to get. Remember the 10,000 followers? Remember you were able to flip and swipe up?
Oh,
or was it swipe up? I was one of the first to get that.
Like a link or something.
You could put up a story and put swipe up on it, and that would take it. I was one of the first to get that, and then I got the blue tick and stuff like that. But again, then since then, my Instagram stopped. Like I'm talking for the last 4 years, and like there's like cheapers. My following's minute nowadays, compared to most other people.
Yeah.
But again, I don't let it get me down, because I still get enough off the followers and stuff that I have that I don't need to go and work out how to use the algorithm, work out when to post, what to post. I just try and be more organic and just put up stuff that I want to put up now,
be real.
which is good. You know, it's better for me because it means I've kind of taken the pressure off having to perform every day, and I just put up then what I kind of want to put up.
Talking about being real, where do you feel most at home? Is it on the shop floor? Is it DJing? Is it at home with the family? Where do you feel most
good one,
Chris?
Yeah, that's a bloody good question. Location wise, Donegal, Suitor Cottage. Oh, Declan.
Has it been a game changer?
Oh my goodness gracious me! Yes, we bought that in COVID, or just pre-COVID. Like we bought that at the very end of 2019, just coming into 2020, whenever the whole place shut down.
Yeah.
And it is just incredible.
Beautiful.
My heart swells every time I think of it. It is just
brilliant.
It's incredible. So I feel most at home in Donegal, and particularly that particular part of Donegal, northwest Donegal. I'm part of what's called the Roskill Peninsula. Downings, people listen to this will know Downings.
I was about to say it's the Downings.
I'm part of Downings.
That's the height of my knowledge.
I'm the next door neighbour to the Singing Pub, and by the way, it's available to let. We let it out. It's a great wee business. It's actually probably my most profitable business that I have. It's incredible.
Love that.
So you can rent out to the cottage. Anybody get onto it? But let me see. Where would I feel most at home? Yeah, that's a damn good question, Declan. I think whenever a DJ gig is going really, so taking apart from being a father and sitting there hugging your kids,
it's almost a given.
Prerequisite, right? You know what I mean? All the stuff that I should say, right? Okay, yes, it's sitting with my kids, watching some wholesome TV, falling in love with them all over. It's all that. Yes, but with regards to what I do, it's probably like taking Saturday night, NI Social Media Awards, big event, 450 people at it. Had a brilliant night the whole way through. Done the mini rave and stuff for them. Like, if you have watched the social media, it was incredible, Declan. But the awards ended at 11, and I had to fill a little 20-minute slot between the band getting set up and getting ready to play. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever been to awards nights, I'm sure you know, once it hits 11 and they stop, people just leave. Do you know what I mean? And Neve had paid a lot of money to have Anna's number on playing as a band. I was like, Chris, if you could play a few wee tracks just to keep everybody in. Mm-hmm. Declan, I played about a 10 or maybe 12 track set that had the whole flipping, the roof nearly come off the Europa Hotel. See those 20 minutes with all that energy that I'm controlling every single flipping thing that they do as such with my music. That's just like, I'm a born entertainer, and that is just, see the value that I get of giving back. People are down there having the time of their life, dancing to flipping Pitbull Fireball or Katy Perry. Like, these are professional people too, and like to see people that I would see as peers and see walking up and down the street in a suit, singing Firework at the top of their lungs because there's another 200 or 300 people around them doing the exact same thing, having the time of their life. That's flipping gold. Like, that is absolutely gold.
Giving it Dixie.
Giving it fucking Dixie.
What's your genre, those like dance?
See, this is the thing, Declan. No, and this is something I should work on. I'm a party DJ now.
Yeah.
So I mainly do events and I do a lot of weddings, and I still do my club stuff. Club stuff's all multi-genre, so it's all house music, pop music, hip hop, R&B, that sort of thing, like a whole amalgamation. But it's mainly a party set.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a 4-hour set and go right the way around all the different genres.
Yeah.
But talking about what's in my heart is still trance and progressive. Like, that's,
nice.
I don't do that. I mean, there's not that many opportunities to do that stuff over here.
Yeah.
But I am doing one on the 5th of December with Kieran McCauley, one of my heroes in the limelight. There's myself, there's Declan, or Brendan B. Perfect, and Kieran. We're supporting his new album launch, and it's going to be trance music, and I cannot wait, because that's my flipping.
Brilliant.
That's my.
I was about to say I'm not doing that. I couldn't DJ.
No, you should do though.
I could hear. That could be. The next thing.
Honestly, it's lucrative. It's well paid, but it's really hard. Like, people
do you do weddings?
I do weddings. Dick, and honestly, I really don't like doing weddings.
Yeah.
Because weddings are the hardest part of DJing. This is the reason why Pete Snowden and all these guys don't do weddings, because it is so flipping hard. Because you go to a wedding, and number one, people book me because they maybe know who I am, and they've seen me at a club, and they've seen me work a crowd and make the place bounce, right? And then they expect me to be able to do that in their wedding. Mm-hmm. And then in their wedding, they've got Auntie Joe and Uncle flipping Mike, who's 75-year-old and 63-year-old, and they like Dolly Parton, and she likes flipping Daniel O'Donnell. And then these guys over here, well, those young ones like Dua Lipa and flipping Katy Perry. And then these ones over here like country and western, they want a bit of flipping Garth Brooks. And then those ones over there, they want some sort of pop music, they want Kylie Minogue. And this one over here, he's in the flipping Westlife, and if I'm not playing Westlife, I'm not dancing. And then them ones over there, they're in the flipping Nelly and flipping 50 Cent, and they want hip hop and R&B. And you just can't please it's not even that you can please you just can't please anyone. So no matter, and see, whenever you're
You'll
playing,
be out the back doing breath work.
it's honestly, it's wild. It's wild. And by the time you play a few ABBA tunes, ABBA gets everybody up.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And the old ones are up and dancing and dancing, and then all of a sudden, you go, right, well, the young ones aren't really getting up. I'll maybe throw in a wee bit of Dua Lipa in there, and you playing it, you put in that, and the older ones just kind of look at you and can get their lips like I'm not playing that, and walk off, and literally dander straight off the floor and make the DJ feel like shit. You literally feel like shit. You're like, oh fuck, where's my crowd going? Because they're maybe 50% of the dance floor at that minute. And then once the old ones walk off, they'll go, well, my aunt's not dancing, I'm not gonna dance. And then they walk off, and then all of a sudden you're playing bangers and there's nobody on the dance floor.
Yeah. Right, Chris doesn't do weddings anymore.
No, do you know what? I said, actually, I have so many bookings next year, non-weddings, that I don't have to do weddings next year. And I did say to Nicola the other day, which I said the same thing last year, I'm not doing any weddings. But then somebody comes to me, Declan, I'm a yes man, I'm a people pleaser. I'm a total people pleaser, and people come to me and say, will you do my wedding? And I was like, fuck. All right, I'll do your wedding. And then, because you know why? I say yes, because it's generally months down the line. I go, I'll worry about that month down the line. Yeah. And then it comes, and then the anxiety goes up, and I go, fuck, why did I say yes to this?
That's why you're here today. Yes,
I know.
Man.
But then you go and do a wedding. Like I've done, I would say the last 10 weddings I've done, 2 of them have been shite, and 8 of them have been brilliant. So, I got to keep thinking it's not, because you immediately take it to heart and go, it's me. Fuck, am I now a shit DJ? Do you know what I mean?
Weddings are a tough one. I know
hard.
With doing the bars at them and stuff, you could get it. Like, there's high expectation on the day. There's a lot of emotion and nerves and whatnot. But it'd be.
Well, I've got a set now. I've got a thing that I've said now, which is I will only play after a band. So
yes, if
there's a band on, 8 to 10, half 8 or half 8 to half 10, I'll come on and do a DJ set from, let's say, half 10 to 1. But I could see the guys that book you from 8 o'clock. People get bored by about 9 o'clock. Oh, it's flipping DJ play music again.
Need a few drinks flowing, get them lubed up, ready to go.
Exactly. And the band generally gets people up because it's more user friendly. It's more easier for everybody to get involved in because it's maybe like a flipping Venga Boys song, but people are playing guitars to it. And even the old ones get up and dance to that. So yeah, I'll maybe still do the odd wedding, but it's only
very good
after a band.
It's good. Stick a wee zero on it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Say
charge more. Except for Declan.
Yeah, well, unless I'm getting married again.
I know.
Hope
yes.
not.
No, let's hope not.
Hope Jenny's not listening. Just touching on the family. Obviously, your girl's 12 and 14.
12 and 14, yeah.
Bit older, so independent-ish, coming into the
here, hormones
years.
And all that sort of stuff that goes with it, yes. And just two great kids.
And
they are a lot of their class.
You and Nicola like share the load, or how does
no,
does that
Nicola
sort of
would
work?
be, I would probably, I was going to say 70-30, it's probably 80-20.
Yeah,
maybe.
but
I know would be. I would be 80-20, yeah.
Yeah.
But Nicola is a born mother.
Yes.
Like literally the absolute number one priority in Nicola's life, bar anything, is the kiddies. Do you know what I mean?
That.
So, she's just a fantastic mother. Like, that's all she ever wanted. All she ever wanted in life was to have kids.
Good.
You know, I wanted kids and a house in Donegal and a Porsche 911 and all this sort of stuff. So, yeah,
and the DJ at weddings
and a DJ at weddings that I hate. But no, all she ever wants in life is to have the wee kiddies, and they're just the best. Declan, they're really good kids. You know, everybody says their kids really good.
Yeah.
My two are really, really good. They don't give you a whole lot of hassle. They're smart. They're lovely. Very polite. Very worldly wise, very entrepreneurial. You know, take it from us. Always come up with all these wee different business ideas and all this sort of stuff. And they're just good crack. They're lovely people to be around, and you can put them in any setting. Like, I don't mind. My kids can go into any setting with anybody and make friends and have conversation with them. You can have very quite adult conversations with them.
Well, it says a lot about you and Nicola as well.
We brought them up really, again, try to make them a bit more cosmically aware about how the world is and try and not shield them, you know, and try and guide them in life and not just give them everything too soon.
Yeah.
You know, like you see a lot of kids run about at 6 and 7 year old and they've got TikTok. And you think of all the stuff on TikTok that, you know, all the information they're getting at that age, they should not be getting as human beings.
That's a lot.
So, we feel that we've really guided them through the whole social media thing until they were old enough to, and they had the tools, talking about tools, they had the tools and the mental capacity to be able to deal with this sort of stuff. So, look, Declan, everybody has their own go. We feel we're doing a good job. Hopefully we are, you know, but
seems like it.
We'll keep doing what we do.
Any tips for me with two girls?
You have two girls too, of course you do.
I know. All ahead of me.
Do you know what?
Just like different phases.
Any tips? No, Dak. No, just buy guns.
Yeah.
Guns are good.
Are your girls, are they like daddy's girls?
They are like, one's a daddy's girl, one's a mummy's girl. But I say to buy guns so that whenever the boyfriends start coming home, I'm going to be that guy that whenever the girls come, I'm going to be sitting there in a pair of knickers with a big beer, you know what I mean? Like a full flipping Hallion and my shotgun over my shoulder and just wait and say, right,
so that scene from Bad Boys,
that
Will
one
Smith.
of those ones.
Class.
You're going to date my daughter, are you? Is that right? Merely how we word me, love. Do you know what I mean? So, and just scare the shit out of them, really poke them, wind them up.
I'd say you could pull that off depending on what underwear you have on.
Yes, I'm going to have it pulled right up over the belly, you know, and a string vest on.
Love that.
But no, Dak, honestly, any tips? No, I just know, look, I know you and Jenny well enough, and Dak, I know you will do a good job. And your kiddies in here, there'll be trials and tribulations and things, there'll be tears and flipping happiness and laughter, and I suppose all I could say is just try and do as much with them as possible. I'd say we've done lots with our kids, like we've done really, really well with them, but you know, when you can always look back and think we could have done more. You know, and that's where this next 5 years are going to be. We're going to try and flip and clean our lives up, down-regulate everything, downsize everything, and that we just spend money like it's going out of fashion.
No,
the thing is, we'll have to work probably even harder than we are now to achieve. There's certain trips and stuff that we want to do and certain things that we all want to see as a family, and they're really expensive things to do. But look, we're just going to try and make it work. And you know what? Here's the thing. See if it doesn't work out. See a trip up to Donegal. I mean, like my girls love Donegal just as much. Here, I tell you who loves Donegal even more than me. The Blade, Nicola. Like, and whenever we bought the house, that was kind of my thing. Do you know what I mean? That wasn't her gig. She was like, all right, Suitor. She calls me Suitor. All right, Suitor, we're doing this because you want a house in Donegal. I'm just letting you know now that I don't want a house in Donegal, but I will go to the house in Donegal and all that sort of stuff. But this is your gig and blah, blah, blah. So it's all right, love. Now, she's the one busting it. She now gets it. She gets what I get from it.
Yeah.
It's just that silence, Declan, and that solace. And whenever you cross the border and you come into the little county in this little heaven that is Donegal, your shoulders just drop.
Did you have a connection with her previously?
So I used to go there as a kid.
Right,
yeah, but not that often. But I used to go to, I used to go to Rosnella as a kid with family, and we used to stay at friends' house up there, and I just fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the scenery. I fell in love with the air. Again, I have an association with going up to Donegal and not having to take my inhalers. That's another thing.
Yeah.
I just breathed better up there because of that lovely, beautiful, Atlantic Ocean air that you get coming off it. So that's maybe that's when I just thought out there now. That's maybe like a psychosomatic
like a nice
thing.
Yeah.
That is that was really, really made me kind of drawn towards it. But it's just so beautiful, Declan.
Yeah.
And there's just the walks and the scenery and the beaches, and my dogs love it. And now Nicola, she's the one pushing to get up, and the house is that well let out. We can't even get up their own flipping place. So we have another wee project going on up there at the minute, which I'll tell you about another time, and that'll be somewhere else to go. But
brilliant.
It's definitely the apple of my eye, Deck, honestly. I will be buried up there. I will be buried up there. Not
there we go.
Death, but
no. Plenty of life left.
Plant these things. But with the kids, no, honestly, just keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Good.
And enjoy every minute.
I will try my best.
Do all the Disney trips you can.
Wrap things up a wee bit. I'm going to ask you a wee question, then we'll do a few quick fire questions at the end. We'll start with the legacy question, as I call it. So, like, if your daughters were going to listen to this conversation, what would you want them to take away from who their dad is today in this season of life? Is there any lessons or messages?
Well, number one, that I worked really hard to try and give them a really, really nice life, but I also tried to make sure and steer them in life. That even though I did mention at the start, that money makes the world go round, love's what makes a family. And do you know what I mean? And we do lots of family stuff. And I think the sacrifices that me and their mum have made in life, just to give them the life that we feel that they want. Do you know what I mean? And they're great kids, and they're very, very happy kids too. And again, I think that is, as a parent and as probably even as a human, the best thing you can possibly do is bring kids into this world and make sure that they live a happy life, Deck, but also that you teach them good morals and good lessons, and you teach them how to be good humans. And I can categorically say that my two are really good wee humans, and I know that they're going to be good humans. Yeah. And I just hope that they if you're thinking about that they look back on what mum and dad have done for them to kind of help them create them who they are. Yeah. As such, because I got it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I got from my mum and dad. Again, I've been around my kids a lot more than my dad was around me, because money was so much tighter in the 60s, 70s and 80s. My dad worked the clock around, and I didn't see him a whole lot. I seen him on a Sunday, but like Monday to Saturday, work. No, it was just work.
That's been a common theme in the conversations that we've had so far, the few, and it's just generational.
It's just the way it is, Declan. We're now in a much better position that we can hopefully spend a bit more time with our kids. But do
you feel there's an expectation on dads now, though, a bigger expectation? Yeah. I always say, I want to be part of my daughter's life. I want to be more present, but at the same time, I'm accepting of the hard work that my dad put in beforehand. It's not, there's no grudges or no problems there, because we had a wonderful life. He provided that for us.
And again, it's just, I suppose, as you said, it's just different parts of time, isn't it? It's just what had to be. Like, our parents got it so much harder than we do, Deck. And whenever I look back at all the shit that I've had to do, and I'm thinking, I didn't really have to do any of it, Declan. Do you know what I mean? I could probably live a quite happy, normal life, just doing life normally, like a lot of people do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
I've just decided to do what I do, and that's just what is right for me. But our fathers just, life was just so much harder. And then obviously their forefathers before them, it was just, life has been so hard. Which I think I said this at the start, we live in such a really good time. In Northern Ireland, the quality of life we have over here, Deck, is incredible. I know our health service is falling to pieces, and our education system needs a lot of money spent, and our flipping policing system isn't magic. But overall,
and the hospitality VAT is fucked.
The hospitality sector is bollocks. But overall, we get it good over here, mate. Like,
No,
you know,
it is.
We really do. And even when we're sick, like there's my mother-in-law just took sick there at the weekend with a blood clot, and she's up there in the Royal, bish bash bosh, Operation Done. She's on the mend now. And I'm thinking, like, you know, there's lots of other countries out there that don't have that. Lots of countries have a better health service, yes, but very, very many countries wouldn't even have anything like that.
Yeah.
So
True.
no, I'm just very proud to be from here. I love Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
I love the whole part of being from here. I love the way, you know, that we're getting into a flipping border pole position right over here. But I love where we are, Declan, that we're, you know what I mean, we're connected to Ireland, we can have the whole Irish connection, we're connected to the UK, we can have all that.
Yeah.
I just kind of, I just love Northern Ireland. I love Belfast, love my city.
Well, I think
love the people.
As a country and, you know, lots of individuals, like I'd say we punch above our weight. Like,
I think
you
so.
know,
I don't think that's celebrated enough because our politics is so polar.
But we're all very,
you know?
We're all very, it's like humble. I spoke about this before.
Yeah.
We don't, I think you're quite good at this. Like you'll talk about what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've struggled for years to be like these are the things that I do and lay out the facts.
Yes.
When I roll it out, it's like that's all true. But I feel like I don't want to seem like I'm bragging or big-headed. But it's like I did do those things. Like that is factually correct.
Yeah, I think we're very quick to downplay it and not talk about how hard it worked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People just see all the flipping fancy cars and all the rest of it and just think, flip, he's fucking load of fucking type thing. They don't see the 20-hour days and what a lot of people don't see with me was where it got to, and it got to me flipping burning out and having a full fucking mental breakdown because of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it took that to happen to really make me, you know, actually wonder what life's all about and learn all the tools, as was said. But, you know, up until then, that was just all I knew, Declan. And, you know, that was, you know, the me back then was different than the me now. But again, I look back with pride at that guy too and go, do you know what? That was just who you were. That's what you did, and it happened, and it is what it is. You didn't have to do it, but you chose to do it. It was your choice. It is what it is. Didn't blame it on anybody else. It was nobody else's fault. It was my fault. I had full control of my life, but now I have learned to do things a little bit differently.
Different seasons, and at that time, that was the right thing for you to do in that moment, and then you learn and you move on and realign.
Absolutely, it's all just a big journey. Declan. I just wish a lot of other people out there that do struggle with it could see that life is life is absolutely just such a flipping blanket statement to say, but it does make sense that life is just a journey, and that everything that is put in front of us is just where we have to learn from it. You know, there's no such thing as mistakes. There's just lessons and lessons in everything, and if you can take that approach to life, you'll get through life a whole lot easier. There'll still be terrible times. It's going to come to us all. You know, I'm even at that point of life now, Dak, I don't know about you, but like, I know you, I do, like mum and dad and like Nicola's mum and dad, everybody's still here, but and like I'm having aunts and uncles dropping off like flies, and I hate to think what it's going to be like whenever that happens to my mum and dad. Like, and it might be tomorrow, it might be 10 years down the line, but you know, there's ups and downs and peaks and troughs for everybody in life. But if you can approach it with a kind of a more balanced mindset, that it's just the way it is, and you can do nothing about it, so it's out of your control. You know, control the controllables. How you control is how you are in that moment in time. And if anybody else is watching this and wants to get into breathwork will help with a lot of it, and not fix it all. But just taking a kind of a more optimistic look at life is the way just to get through this and say, look, it's all just lessons. We are where we are. We're all just human beings living this big flipping melange it's called the world, and we just got to give it our best every day.
I think at the minute I love the phrase, what's the alternative?
Yes.
You know, when stuff goes on, it's like, what is the alternative here? That I sack it all off and get a job in the civil service? Is that going to make me happy? Or, you know, you might as well take the option to be a bit more optimistic about situations than pessimistic, because what's it going to do for you?
Well, here, I must give you a wee quick story if we've got time. I know we need to talk forever. If
we've
got time here. So I have, part of the reason why I do what I do now and I do so many different things, because like I didn't learn this from my mum and dad and my family. Like my family have all just kind of done one thing and done it really, really well, which, by the way, is what most business mentors will tell you is the best way to wealth. Pick one thing and just get really fucking good at it. I'm the opposite. I want to do 100 things and be just kind of good at most of them, right? So I had this lovely customer called Pat Lou, and I wonder if any of his family ever watched this. I think it might be the first time I've ever said on a podcast. And Pat would have come into us every couple of weeks. One of the most dapper, gentle, lovely human beings ever to walk this earth. Always bought stuff, didn't even need clothes. Just bought clothes off me for the crack, just for something to do. And anytime we used to get chatting, he had so many jobs. very wealthy man, very well-to-do, had done really well in life, but he was a joiner, and he was in the army, and he was a school teacher, and he was a mechanic, and he was all these different, you know what I mean? And I used to sit down, I want to be like that. I want to be the Pat Lou that whenever I'm flipping 75 and I'm getting into the local men's tailors in Belfast and you're having a chat with them and I can sit down and talk to these boys about lots of stuff. I remember back in the day when I was a DJ, or back when I did this, you know what I mean? I used to own a coffee shop. I want to be that guy that has done loads of different things that people almost think you're bullshitting. Do you know what I mean? And then they flip and do a wee to Google or speak to someone. That boy Suitor says he was a DJ and said he owned a coffee shop and saying to him, I did. Do you know what I mean?
Be more Pat Lou.
I want to be a wee bit more Pat Lou. And
I think you're doing a good job of it.
Such a good lad. So we just need to think of what's next.
Yeah, here. No, well, you're taking some time out. Yeah. What's next is we're going to hit some quick fire questions.
Go.
Here we go. Coffee or cocktail meeting?
Oh, coffee. Definitely every day of the week.
Agreed.
Yes.
Tailored, well, this is an obvious one. Tailored suit or gym kit?
Oh, gym kit.
Oh, wow.
Right,
well,
so see when you see here's the crack. See when you see me in work, I am always fully dressed. See the minute I get home, this is off and chucked on the floor. It's not chucked on the floor, but it's off and it's hung up. I am, see when I'm not in a suit, see when I'm not in work, I am not in a suit. I am in flipping shorts, socks, Crocs. I wear Crocs a lot. Hoodies, flipping baseball caps. I look like a hallion and I love it.
Why not?
Look a lot hallion. I love comfort. Yeah.
Favorite cut of steak?
Or let me see, Picana. Let me see. No, we'll go flat iron. Flat iron every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Love that.
Yeah.
What's more satisfying? Creation?
Yes.
Or closing deals?
Oh, creation every day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, the money comes separate.
Shiny objects.
Absolutely. Yes. Magpie. Yeah. The next thing.
And the most important question: who is the best dressed in the Suitor household?
Who is the best dressed in the Suitor house? Oh, it's me, definitely. 100%. Sorry, Nicola.
Love that.
Although Nicola does look really good. Yeah, she's a belter, maybe, Nicola. But yeah, has to be me. Unless, well, it's me when I'm going to work. Whenever I'm not, it's me dressed as a hallion. Yeah, so it's not me then. But I must admit, Declan, too, I love the men's game. The men's game has been very, very good to my family. Like most of my family went into the car industry, as in my generational family.
Yeah.
And it was only my dad that kind of seen a little bit of a niche going into the men's industry being called Suitor. Yeah. So he was he's the first person that went into clothes, and
makes sense.
Me and my brother have kept it going, and
you're doing a very good job.
I know we've done well, but now to be fair, like we've taken it to another level, which has been really, really good, and we're well known, and the wee shop really, really does well. So
I love it.
He's very, very proud, as was my granny, who was Tailor. She was Betty Tailor.
Wow.
And my granddad was Sammy Suitor Tailor.
Was meant to be.
Was meant to be.
Tell me this: what anything coming up we want to talk about that you're doing that you want to promote, and where can we find you on Instagram?
Oh,
socials?
Yes. Now I've said
Go
this. There's a newspaper thing. There's a Telegraph thing coming out here in November. When's this pod going?
Couple of weeks time.
So, right. Next year, I'm going to run for Belfast City Council.
Wow. Is that an exclusive?
That's a magpie. That's an exclusive.
Here we go. Suitor for council.
Yep.
Love that. And is that like, I feel like I need to know more about this.
That's a me putting my time where my mouth is. I'm probably one of those.
Well, obviously, you've been a big promoter of the city.
And one of the most vocal about it whenever things aren't going to plan. And one of the most vocal people on accountability and holding civic leadership to account. I am going to run for council, and I want on the inside.
Love that.
Simple as that.
Make a difference.
See if I can make a difference. Declan.
Yeah.
And if anything, hold people to account. And again, which I touched briefly about earlier on, about this whole polar politics that we have in this country. We need more people like me who are from a business background, who are in Belfast spending their own money on rates.
The experience.
And who are not from a political side. I am not from any political side. I am purely from a what makes this city better side. So I am going to go in and try and hopefully then...
What do you run as there? Like, is it
independent?
Independent.
Yeah, just have to run as independent, and like anybody can run for council. That's the thing. Anybody can do it. And I've got a lot of support from both sides because a lot of politicians come into me, as you know, and get all the shits. And I've kind of pinned them and all. And one side thinks I'm going to be sitting with them, and one side thinks I'm going to be sitting. I'm like, guys, I'm not going to be sitting with any of us. I'm going to be sitting with you all. And that's the thing. That's the kind of thing. I am not going to be sitting against them. I want to be sitting with them. I feel that I'm a good connector of people. Yeah, and I would love to be able to be that conduit between all the shit that happens and just try and make some sort of a difference, Declan. And hopefully then it entices other business people. Because if you go back 30, 40 years ago, maybe even less, councils were made up of business people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was what the council was. It was business people, ratepayers within that particular city centre or town centre or area that were paying the vast majority of the rates. They got the say on what the money was spent on. And then what happened is when the Troubles came and all of a sudden you were a figurehead, you became a target, those guys, the business guys, just regressed and dropped back out of it. And then you needed to fill council with something else. So in came the kind of more public sector side of things. And that's just the way councils have been over the last sort of 20, 30 years.
We mentioned about things being obvious. It sounds very obvious, doesn't it? The people...
Doesn't it? Yes. That are in there paying the money in.
At the coalface should maybe make
should
some
have
decisions.
some sort of a say on it, like, and that's the thing. So, look, we're going to give that a go.
Brilliant, man.
Don't know where I'm going to get the time, but
Very
we're going to make the time.
Pretending he doesn't know what's next.
I know. I forgot about it. That's what it was. I forgot.
Very good. Where can we find you on socials? What's your handle?
At Chris Suitor GGG on Instagram, Suitor Brothers, I think's on Twitter, and then just normal Facebook, Chris Suitor stuff. But LinkedIn. I can't even remember if I have LinkedIn, but I think I have LinkedIn. Yes, I do have LinkedIn. Yeah, I do have LinkedIn, and it's Chris Suitor, I think, as well. But yeah, it's
brilliant.
Good. Anybody wants to reach out, particularly from a holistic side of things, from a breathwork or a meditation side, look me up and I'll send you the bits and pieces and the books to read. And the main thing is I have a wee slogan now, which is do your homework, and that's where I'm at for everybody. I think we should all adapt that mantra, which is do your homework on anything. The amount of people, Declan, you bump into nowadays that have an opinion on everything and they've never done their homework on anything. Do you know, that's the thing. So
I like that. Chris, look, I really appreciate your time. Busy man.
Thanks,
and I appreciate everything you do. And you're
I see him. Thanks for having me on.
Very infectious in your enthusiasm and stuff. So
thanks, mate.
Really appreciate it. Good luck with everything.
Cheers.